Hi, in this video I'm going to teach you how to make a basic map. It's not going to be fancy, it's not going to have anything. I'm just going to teach you how to use the tools in Hammer Editor and how to make a small map out of that. So basically you have to go to File, New, and this is going to bring up all kinds of things. These are all your tools over here to help you make your map. So first of all, I'm going to get you familiar with the texture browser. This is the current selected texture. If you want to select a new one, just click Browse. And you're going to get thousands of different textures that you can choose to put in your map. Some textures will be custom, like this one here, but that's just the way it goes. So we want I don't know, grass. We put it in the filter and it's going to give us a bunch of grass textures. I'll get into these ones where it looks like a blend later. For now we'll just use a solid grass. Now this here is your top-down view. You're looking at the top of the map in a wireframe. This is your side view, and this is your front. This is looking at it from the side, and then this is the looking at it from the front of the map. That's pretty self-explanatory. To change your grid settings, at the moment we have it set to 64 by 64. If you made one block that size, it would be the size of the crates in AIM texture 2. You can just barely crouch jump on top of them. So we want to go to Map, Grid Settings. You can make the grid smaller or bigger. You can also use your little square bracket keys. It's the best way to do it. So I'm just going to make that a little smaller, 32 by 32. Now this is just your selector tool. You can select brushes, which are just the blocks in the map, and entities, which is like your player spawns, lights, other things like that. You can select anything. This is your magnify. I never really use that, or the camera. Entity tool, you can use this to make lights, player spawns, and other things. This is your brush tool. It's called a block tool, but everybody seems to call it brushes, and I like the name brush better anyway. So this is to make walls and floors and everything in your map, pretty much. This is to change the texture of a brush face. This is also to apply the current textures you have selected to a selected brush. This applies decals. You basically put a picture on top of your block. This is your clipping tool. You can basically just cut your brushes. This is your vertex tool, or you can edit the wireframe of your brush to make slanted edges and stuff like that. But right now we're just going to use the block tool. So in order to make a block, you just kind of click and drag. I'm going to make a small floor. And you can either right click it and create object, or press enter. I usually press enter. Now this view over here, it's all just black, you can't see anything. To get to your map, you can click on Map, Entity Report, Go To. Press Z while your cursor's over this, and you can kind of fly around like you were in game using the WASD keys and your mouse. Pretty simple. So now we have a small floor. Actually going to make it bigger. We can select that with our selection tool, and then we can just drag our sides out to make it a little bigger. Okay. So now that we have a floor, we can, or a ground, we can browse for a new texture and find rock. And select a rock texture, and we'll just put that around the sides. Okay, so now we have a basic little world. It's not big, it's not a fancy map, it's just a couple of blocks thrown together. Now what we can do with this is add our player spawns. So we click the entity tool, and for a terrorist spawn in Counter-Strike Source, that's what this is going to be about. That's what I'm going to use as an example for a game when I'm making maps. Just info player terrorist, click somewhere, and your entity should be there. You should know when making spawns that you don't want it in the ground or in any other entity, or your player is going to get stuck when he or she spawns. So we need a terrorist and a counter-terrorist, and it's going to be info player counter-terrorist. Now this map will run fine, well, unless of course you get an error. Most compilers will say that you have a leak error. And why is this? This is because an entity can escape into this dark abyss way out here. We don't want that. That's not going to look like a sky. When you look up, it's going to just copy the textures like this wall. You can see a bunch of rock as you look up. To fix this and make it look like a sky, we have to browse for a new texture. Look for Skybox. It's going to be way at the bottom. It's this one right here, the very last texture if you search for Skybox. Now we just want to put that on top of our map. And now we have a fully functional map. But we can't play it yet. We have to save it. Pretty simple. Control S or file save, just like any other editor. But we still can't just go into Counter-Strike and run it. We have to go to File, Run Map. I usually check Don't Run the Game after compiling. Basically just click OK and wait for it to compile. If you have a really complex map, this can take a day or two, but this only took a second. And then you can go into Counter-Strike. And we probably should have added some lighting to our map. But it basically just made a full bright map for us. That's basically how you make a simple, small little map with nothing to do in it. I'll have more tutorials for you to watch and make better maps. Thank you for watching this video.